So here's the hood, and I'm a little disappointed. Reason why, I was taking all the paper off. I had it in here turned around like this, and I was pulling all the paper off and being as gentle as I could. So I picked it up, flipped it around after I took it off, and I noticed, not a biggie, right there. See, like the tape or something must have hit it. So I run in, grab a Q-tip, and I sprayed some paint on it, and I tried to, it was just a thin line, and I tried to touch it up, but that wasn't working. So I got that. Then I come out this morning and look at it, and when you do this, and if you look real tight, you can see freaking dirt stuck in it. I'm like, are you kidding me? You can feel it. Then on this corner, where's that? It's up front. There's a couple of little nicks right there that don't really concern me too much. I'm like, those weren't there. What the hell is going on? So when I put it in here, I said, leave it right by the door because there'll be some ventilation. I guess that's how the dirt got in here and stuck to it. You can feel it. So there's probably enough in there to do it. It's not like tons of work, but it pisses you off. The plan was to get it somewhere, in here somewhere, and I said, man, sit it right here, but there's a, big gap under the door. Big gap at the top, and I put that paint on pretty thick, so it was going to stay sticky for a while. Then I have, where'd it go? Oh, that's right, put it in the boat in the sun to get it hot. Anyway, yeah, she's getting hot. It's Clearcoat. It says crystal clear enamel. So, like these two little tiny spots, not real worried about it, but that's going to be the problem. Every time you hit it or nick it, that white's going to come through. The whole thing, the rest of it needs to be cleaned up. And then, see, I just hit the damn thing again, trying to move it. Stuff like this, I can touch that up like I tried to here with the Q-tip, but for some reason the Q-tip didn't want to really work. And I don't know, by the time, like I said, I don't want it all beat up and everything. By the time everything is done and ready, here I took the Q-tip, tried to fill that in a little bit where it got scratched, but I have artist brushes that'll work. So I don't know, fix this, redo it, get all this. I mean, it's like friggin' sand. So let that tack up, shoot it with the clear, and see what happens. Oh yeah, set it up on the top of the van, we're in the sun. See, that helps it dry up, and if it's even going to dry, if it's just going to stay sticky, I don't know what to do. Meanwhile, I took a steel wool and got on that spot. It's you can see the primer, and then the white hood. It was pretty deep. If I didn't have to worry about it chipping, then I wouldn't wouldn't be doing all this. Yeah, I swear it's coming off in white specks. What the hell is white that fell on it? Weird. So even with that, might not have to repaint it, just with the clear. But according to the cap, It's matte. I think you call it matte finish. Yeah, I might be able to just get away with doing this. Like I said, the ground is saturated, so dirt shouldn't be flying around. Nobody's mowing yards. Alright, here we go. See if we can do this with one shot. Put it on wet. Oh, that's the tape. I'm like, what the hell is that? Boom, baby. Water. I need water. I think that's going to be good. All the moaning and groaning and bitching and whining, and I think it's going to be fine. Like I said, it's a clean up. Boy, look at that sun shining off of it. Ooh. And that's a nice reflection on you. Scared me. You know what? That looks pretty damn good. It just stands out a little bit more now. It looks pretty good. Anyway, this will match on the back. So that's about it on this thing. Get this thing on. It's done. Cleanup wise, I'm gonna go around and clean up some of these. If I can fill some of those scratches in with the paint, I'll take the little brush, the little artist brush, like that corner and stuff. I try to do it with the Q-tip. Just a little, you know, a little here, a little there, nothing to, you know, a little extra. All right, take 5. Whew. Oh yeah, I've just put this baby in the shade. She's been out here in the sun. Oh, she look good now. Woo-hoo-hoo. Anyway, looks great. I'm thrilled to death. This is all gonna get cleaned up. I'll put a little, I got something I can put on here and make it, clean it up nice, you know. Anyway, I gotta pack it in, man. It's like can't breathe hot. Unbelievable. I got the little clippies for this piece. Boy, she looked good. You know, no body work. Was just supposed to be a quickie paint job, clean up. But she came out nice. The more I looked at it in the videos, it looked like white spray paint, overspray. I didn't shoot any white when I was doing this thing, other than in the very beginning before I painted it, just test a little spot on it. I need to put this somewhere it ain't gonna get beat up. That's hard to do around here. Maybe right here in the front seat will work. All right, I think we got some room in here now. I was going to run down to the boat and get my push button starter, but this one I had hooked up to that 7425, and I'm going to need this anyway, you know, put on here somewhere Originally, it was going to, offer it with or without the starter, but I think I'll just leave the starter motor in there. It's a big selling point. Also, going through, cleaning up a little bit, I got a whole bucket full of ignition charging parts that may just fit in here, because this thing, it's got no charging system, which for just cranking it to start it, electric start, you don't really need a charging system. You probably get 100 bumps out of one battery before you have to charge the battery up. Anyway, I just put this on. Let me double check it, make sure everything's working. Put this ground cable on. Alright, let's see if it's going to work. Ruh-roh. Oh yeah, baby. This battery, I took it out of the boat frickin' 2 weeks ago for this. And it was at 12.81. And it's been sitting in the other shed. I tested it the other day. It was still at 12.78. So I threw the charger on it just to give it a little, if it needed it. Man, that charger went brrr, and then 2 minutes later, brrr, back down, fully charged. So can't beat that. I've had good luck with these batteries from Advance, Alto Pulse. Alright, so I put this piece on because I didn't want to deal with the big box, air box silencer crap hanging off here. I'll put it on when it's all done and said, done, blah, blah, blah. Then I noticed this. Try to zoom in on it a little bit. See, it's like, what's up with that, man? So I'm looking in there. I just ran across a bunch of brand new retainers. This is just, I don't know, I just don't like that. That's just so loose. So I started to turn it out. Then I realized I got to take this friggin' thing off to get the retainer out. So I'm going to do that real quick. Because, there's no point in dealing with this. It shouldn't be. I think, too, didn't I already replace that? And the retainer that's in there is not a red retainer. It's like some clear plastic or some crap. Should take the red ones. It's the right shape, but it's not red. It's black. That's the old one. Then you can see, maybe, watch this. See how loose that piece of poo-poo is? Man, that'll leak air. Alright, let me get a good one. Yeah, I haven't seen a black one. Long time. Get a brand new one right here. Like 3 new ones in here. Straight as you can. Just a couple of threads. I think it should work. Or just shove it in there and start threading it in. Oh yeah. Nice snug fit. Ooh, that's so nice. Alright, she's in, but she's not bottomed out. So take her down to the bottom. Seat the needle. And I've always come out of 1.5 turns. I always say 1.5 will get you started. Now on these 80s motor, that's more for 70s. On the 80s motor, I think 1.25, 1 turn should get you started. But that extra half or quarter, gives you a little more room to play around. Over here, on the throttle butterfly position screw, loosen that thing up, make sure the butterfly is closed. Then the theory is that these motors should run idle with the butterfly closed, but I have come to find out over the years it's real rare. And then if it runs with the butterfly closed, fine. Then you got to set your roller. You got to have your idle stop screw working. This is your adjustment, where you want that roller to stop. You don't want it to come all the way back down because the motor is probably going to die. So you have to adjust this. Plus, this is used if you're out fishing, you want to speed up your idle a little bit for a little trolling or something, you can do that too. The roller, I usually try to set it just before the first mark. Just as you go to throttle up, you want the roller. Oh, I adjusted this, I forgot. Let me back it up just a hair. I was fooling around with it. Okay, so I'm way down here before the first mark. So I would turn my idle stop, because that's where it's stopping. I would turn it up just so it gets right before the first mark. When you hit that first mark, you know you're opening the butterfly because you've already closed it where the idle stop was back here. And that's where you want the butterfly to just start to open, just as you roll into the first mark. And then boom, the second mark. And then right there it's fast idle. It's automatically going to stop because of the linkage over here. It won't go any higher unless you're in gear. But this is just the initial setup. It may not want to idle. You may have to open the carburetor butterfly on this adjustment on the carb where you closed it so it can idle a little bit just before that first mark. Then as it rolls up in, hits that first mark, it starts to open. That's the slow speed timing. You come up here and that's as far as it'll go. But once you're in gear, it comes up. And then the rod, there's a rod back here that takes over. It no longer depends on the cam, the throttle cam. So the rod is over here, and there's a little adjustment on it, and it's a pain in the ass. And then this is going to be your high speed. So your high speed is going to hit on the carburetor on this side of the roll pin, where the roll pin is on the shaft of the butterfly. Right there. So at full throttle, oops, which see, I'm off just a little bit. So my butterfly is sitting like this, not perfectly horizontal. When this is all the way down, hitting that stop with that roll pin, then it's perfectly horizontal for wide open throttle. So it's pretty basic stuff. So here I would have to loosen this little pin up and then push this forward, reset that pin back just a little bit. It's just a little screw. It's a pain in the ass. The way they designed it, you got to hold on to it, keep this up in full throttle, try to tighten it, da-da-da-da-da. So it's a major pain in the ass. But after you do it 1,000 times, you'll get used to it. They are a pain in the butt. So then, once it's all warmed up and everything, all your link and sync and everything you think is good, then you just start dialing it in. You look for the lean sneeze, and you start turning the carburetor in tiny increments at a time. And in between each turn, you got to let it breathe through. So what you're doing is you're leaning the fuel mixture out, turning it in. So the RPMs are going to start to pick up every time you turn it. And it's going to lean out so bad that it's going to go and they call it a lean sneeze, or it'll buck or just start to cough. but try to keep it from dying. But remember that spot if it dies. Then from there back, it's usually about a quarter turn, maybe between a quarter and a half turn. So just find the sweet spot, find the nicest purring idle you can find. Pop it in gear, make sure it doesn't die, blah, 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 blah. And it's just, you know, it may take you 10 times to get it right. You may get lucky and get it done in 1 or 2 times. That's about it. It's pretty basic stuff. Like I said, once you do it a few times, it'll get ingrained in your brain. So do a quick go over, make sure your idle stop screw is working and adjustable. Make sure your linkage is all set up, your choke is working, If you have to adjust the carburetor butterfly, if this thing won't run with the carb closed, which is more my experience, you'll have to adjust that. It's a pain in the butt too. You'll see how it works. There's like two mechanisms on here. You loosen that screw, and the one will give you the butterfly adjustment. So you move that butterfly just a little bit open. You may have to do it 2 or 3 times to get it just where you want it. Snug the screw back down. And it's just basically a learning thing. You just have to do it to learn it and figure it all out. Pain in the butt. And sometimes, like I said, man, sometimes bing, bang, boom. Oh, yeah. So that's about it. Also, I found my bag of stuff. I'm going to replace the broken handle. I got one in here. And it's missing one of the cups, whatever you call those things, transom mount things. Like, you know, there's one right there, ready to go. Damn it, man, I need a camera person. But for these, unscrew that thing as far out as you can, screw a new one in, and then I put a socket on it, and it push it up against the board, and it'll tighten itself down. Then once you get that far, screw it back out and get in there with the wrench and finish tightening up. I'm surprised this thing is as tight as it is. Look, it's even got blue paint on it. I think she's ready to go. I told a little story that didn't make the last video about my 60 horse. Alright, let me figure it out. I'll probably cut that story out. It's too long.